Hey, everybody, Off the Mic Sports Network here, another edition of Off the Top Rope. So I talked about the match itself, the main event of WrestleMania Sunday. Highly disappointing, really anticlimactic. It's just, and John Cena wins, which is, like I said, cool. And you can peel that back. Like I said, some people say it's the worst Mania main event of all time. I don't think that's the case. Like there's 41 years of WrestleMania. And, there's been multiple two-night affairs that have had bad main events, but this is the worst one I've seen in a while. Um, and, it stinks giving the build that this was put into this match. And then, the Mania main event from Saturday was so great. Great heel turn. You had a chance to peel it over and into the next night. And you just look at this, and I can't help but think, what the fuck's going on with The Rock? Because him not being there to me is unacceptable. It's unacceptable. Like, I don't care that you're busy. I don't care that, you're the most famous actor in the world. I don't care about that. You were an integral part of this story of John Cena turning heel. One of the most significant wrestling moments that has happened in probably at least in about 30 years. It's one of the most significant moments ever. And he's not at all involved in this weekend whatsoever, including the main event, because John Cena sold his soul to The Rock, and he's not there. What the fuck are we doing? Like, I have been telling you guys this from basically Jump Street from the start of the year, when he kind of blew a lot of those storylines dead, and then he, right as I was shitting all over him, he came back and created this interesting angle, and that led to the John Cena heel turn and the corporate champion. But for him to not be there, and for Travis Scott to be the only real big interference in what was a plotting and really underwhelming main event, let's call it what it is. John Cena is going to need bells and whistles as a champion. Like, this is going to be a nostalgia act, and he has broken the record as a heel, and he stole it, which, kind of fits the character. What the fuck are we doing? Like, this makes no sense whatsoever. And you know what it tells me? Everybody's going to want to point the finger at Triple H as a bad booker. What this showed me was clearly that like I've said this before, there is a clear disconnect between Rock and what is going on inside of, Titan Tower and going on with Triple H and creative. Because what have we seen the last 2 years with WrestleMania? Last year, Rock was going to face Roman Reigns in the main event because Rock wanted to do it. And the fans blew that shit to death. And they were like, fuck this. We want Cody. And it changed the course of things, and it led to an amazing Mania build. Company's doing so successful, whatever. Rock goes away. We have all this intrigue. Everything gets blown to death on the night of Netflix. We get to this stage. There was a huge opportunity potentially for Rock to face either Cody or Roman. He doesn't face either one of them. And then all he's really done since the debut in Los Angeles, all he's done, let's take a look at this. All that Rock has done for the wrestling business and the WWE's business since he returned really at the start of this year, he showed up on a SmackDown to announce WrestleMania is going to New Orleans next year. Just started the sell your soul thing with Cody, created a great moment with John Cena turning heel, and has not shown up and has barely been mentioned ever since. I am convinced that The Rock was supposed to be involved in this. That they probably had multiple plans for this match laid out. And Rock just couldn't do it. But let's call it what it is. He's The Rock. If he wanted to do it, he would have done it. So what does that tell you? The Rock does not care about you, okay? And this is disappointing because The Rock is one of the most charismatic and one of the most entertaining people, and I've always enjoyed The Rock on screen. But in terms of the guy out there, in terms of the actor, in terms of the politician, in terms of all like the political side of him, like from behind the scenes and, manipulating situations, you are seeing it on full display because we have been through now, 3-4 years of this crap of potentially doing Rock Roman or doing something significant. Then you had an organic storyline that you could have done with Cody. That doesn't happen. So we get John Cena turning heel and aligning himself with The Rock, one of his greatest rivals. And then you don't even pay that off in the main event of WrestleMania? This is not on Triple H, everybody. This is not on Triple H. He has no control over this situation, despite being the chief content officer. And it leads me to this point is like WWE's got to stop relying on The Rock. That part is a failure on Triple H. And they could have had a better plan to do this in other respects. And maybe, it ultimately becomes Seth Rollins who becomes into the fray as another big time heel. But I don't know what the future holds for this angle, but I completely lay a large chunk of the blame. And I said this in the build to WrestleMania, why it fell flat. I said a lot of those things, and I lay a lot of it at the feet of The Rock. And people will say, well, why don't you blame Triple H? He's the one booking the shows. And it's like, that's true, but who's the guy who has the most power? He's on the board. He claims he loves this business. He hits his arms with all the goosebumps and everything. Yet he can't make WrestleMania? Guys, think about this for a second. The guy has appeared on the Netflix debut. He appeared on NXT in Los Angeles. And then he appeared on a SmackDown. And then he appeared at Elimination Chamber. And he was not good enough to go to WrestleMania in fucking Las Vegas. Spare me with all these excuses. And I know the media is going to try and spin it a certain way. This is totally on The Rock. Because what the fuck was this? Like we were trusting that this storyline was going to get paid off, and all we got was this really just highly disappointing main event that, ultimately was just going to lead to just nothing. And maybe the story will lead itself there, but I'm just completely disappointed in Dwayne Johnson for not having, and I just don't understand it. I don't get why you can't be like a leader. And you can't be like, this board of director, a guy who claims he loves his business, and you can't show up to WrestleMania? Are you fucking kidding me? All of these hints that were dropped, it tells me they had a plan with The Rock involved, and he's not there because he's The Rock and he can do whatever he wants. Seriously, fuck you. Fuck you, Dwayne. Like, until you prove me wrong, this has gotten so disappointing to me that, like, I'm frustrated because I love professional wrestling. You claim to love professional wrestling. You gave one of the great angles ever, and then the payoff of it was that, and it tells me that maybe he was supposed to be in the Travis Scott spot, or maybe there was more to it. That was disappointing, and I totally laid it at the feet of The Rock. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.